Welcome to JasonWhiskyWise. My name is Jason. Welcome to this whiskey review where today we're continuing our series into Glen Moray's Elgin Heritage range, and we're going to be looking at the Glen Moray 15-year-old. So, if you haven't missed the last video into the 12-year-old, I'm going to leave a link to the playlist over here in the corner, and also at the end of the video here on screen I'll leave some other Glen Moray videos, so feel free to go and click them, and that way you can sort of see a whole range of Glen Moray. And by mid-January I should have quite a lot of other Glen Moray expressions on the channel, because I do know a couple of you guys did ask me for the Glen Moray Peated, and I've also got a sample of the Glen Moray Mastery, the Classic Port, the 25, which I ordered a Master Malt. So a lot of Glen Moray to come here on the channel. Now, in terms of this one over here, I'll get straight into the review itself. It's a 15-year-old whiskey, bottled at an ABV of 40%. The actual combination of cask in this one, and it's outlined right here on the front. It's American oak and also Oloroso sherry to what I've read. So you've got a nice combination between the two. Whereas in the 12-year-old, which we just reviewed, it's just American oak. So in terms of the actual distillery itself, it is from the Glen Moray Distillery, and they're owned by the parent company La Martinique. I can never say that last bit of this name. It's always something that eludes me, but I'll get there eventually. In terms of the actual region, though, it is from the Speyside region of Scotland. Now, the price point on this one over here, this is around about 48 to 50 pounds here in the UK, and it can vary, because recently I saw on Amazon it dropped in price down to 43, so it can fluctuate and you can get on some really good deals. Now, it is a core range bottling, so it's not exclusive, and I can just smell this nice sweet aroma. So let's jump straight into the nosing. Into the nose. So starting things out on the nose of the Glen Moray 15, straight away I'm getting what to me is like a nice sweet red berry character. It actually feels like a cherry. And to me, when I say a cherry, it reminds me of a Morello cherry. It's kind of like actually like a cherry Bakewell. And I recently tried a cherry Bakewell, so it's kind of fresh in my memory. But it's like a deconstruction of this, but in an aroma on the nose. So you've got that Morello cherry, you've got a bit of vanilla icing. Then you go into it's kind of an interesting note here, but you get it's like icing powder if you do baking, especially at winter, and you open a pack of icing powder, and you can just sniff that sweet aroma that goes through it, almost like that, identical on the nose. You then go back into these red berries, and I'm getting raspberries, cranberries, but dried ones, not, fresh ones, very different. And then there is a little, I'd say a hint of citrus on the end of this one. To me, I was thinking it's like a sweet citrus, but it's more like a candied citrus peel. Very lovely, very inviting nose to this whiskey. Let's get into the palate. Fingers crossed we get the same on the palate. Slanger. So in terms of on the actual approach on the palate, arrival onto the palate for this one has a nice, I'd say a medium, light medium texture. It's a little bit more developed than the actual 12-year-old. And you can actually get a lot more sense of these sherry cask characters really coming through. But first up, I do get a lot of spices. And this is a combination of sweet cloves, a peppery note. At the same time, it reminds me of one of those fireball sweets we get. It's like aniseed fireball sweets. You got nice sweet cinnamon actually rolling around it. And then suddenly, pow, it hits you in the face. But right under that, it's like red plums. Very succulent with the skin, so you got a little bit of tannins coming through as well. You get a bit of caramel. Then you go into the citrus fruits, and then back into the citrus fruit spectrum, it's like a clementine. It really just pinpoints that with me on that. And then it goes into a dried fruit presence, and for me, it's like on the lines of say sultanas. A little bit of a chewy, nice golden sultana. But then that's about it. There's not really anything left anymore there. And it's kind of finishing me rather short. So let's get into the notes on the finish and we'll come to our conclusion. So for my concluding notes on the finish of this whiskey, overall the finish is kind of like I'd say a short finish, where I wanted it to be a bit longer. I wanted to prolong those characters, and I kind of wanted it to give a lot more. But I get red licorice, a bit of vanilla oak, a little mouth-warming character along the sides of cinnamon, a nice sweetness coming through of fudge, and then that dryness again of that I found on the end of the palate of those sultanas, those juicy sultanas, but it adds a little drying character, and that slight bitter note comes back through again with a slight tannic quality. It's like as if you've had sultanas and you've just been picking them up from a packet and then you didn't realize you had a little bit of the stem and you got a little bit of a bitter character coming through. It was really going well on the nose, and then the palate's finish was holding itself up. Finish sort of just went rather short, and I felt that sort of just lost points for me on that side. So in terms of my actual rating for this one, I'm going to give it an 84. I like the whiskey all in all. The nose was really promising. It was really like, you know, it's like a cherry bakewell. You're getting all those different icing sugar notes, and then you're getting a little bit of these red berries. And then on the palate, it really just gave you something a little bit different, a lot more spicier. And then when you got those bitter notes on the end, I just felt, you know what, it's kind of just lost me a little bit. But the nose and the palate were very promising. The finish, I felt, just signed off a bit on a lower note. It was kind of a little bit of a disappointment. You kind of just wanted the nose to just carry on throughout, and it would have been a very, very good score. But that's about it, 84 out of 100. Do I think it's value for money? Yes, I think it's still good value for money at around about 43 to 45 pounds. Do I think it needs water? I would highly recommend some water. If you are sensitive to spice, you might find it a little bit too hot. So I would recommend, it's nothing like an Avalara Buna, but I would recommend just adding a few drops of water, as it reduces the spice on the palate, and then it also gets rid of that little bit of a bitter quality on the end. But as these reviews are based on neat, that's why I'm just giving you my recommendations. And in terms of time, the more time you give this, the better the nose actually develops. And I just love the nose on this one. It's fantastic. It's really good. So that's going to be my score, 84 out of 100. Let me know if you try this one down below in the comment section. If you have enjoyed the video, drop it a thumbs up. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, which I'll leave over there. I'll leave some other Glen Moray videos on screen. But this has been me, JasonWhiskyWise, a festive Mr. Madonna's. I need to find my Christmas hat. And I'll see you guys for the next video. Sláinte.